Interactive Brokers has a reputation. It's a powerful platform with rock-solid security and incredible features, but also confusing and overwhelming for beginners. And honestly, that's actually pretty accurate. But here's the thing. Once you know where everything is, it becomes the best trading platform you'll ever use. So in this complete tutorial, I want to walk you through everything from opening your account to buying your first stock, setting up automatic investing, and unlocking features that most users don't even know exist. So by the end of this video, Interactive Brokers will feel simple, intuitive, and you'll wonder why you ever hesitated. So let's get started. Now, I've been investing for over 20 years and I've tested a ton of investing platforms. Now, here's why I love Interactive Brokers. Two main reasons. Number one is security. Interactive Brokers is a publicly traded company. It's been around for decades and it's one of the most heavily regulated brokers on the planet. So when your money is in there, you don't have to lie awake at night wondering if it's some sketchy startup that's going to disappear overnight. It is established. And second, portability. A lot of people don't talk about this, but if you ever move countries, or maybe you just want to transfer your holdings to another broker, Interactive Brokers makes it seamless. I've seen people move internationally and transfer their entire portfolio in just a couple of days. That's almost unheard of on any other platform. So that's why I love this platform. Now let's make sure you know exactly how to use it. Now, the first thing that trips people up about Interactive Brokers is that it's not just a single platform. It's actually several different platforms. So let me just show you a quick example of what those are. First, you've got a downloadable desktop app, IBKR, which stands for Interactive Brokers. It can be used interchangeably, but IBKR Desktop is downloadable and combines their flagship trader workstation with a growing suite of original features that you can use within the app itself. Then you have Trader Workstation. This is the advanced platform, typically aimed at advanced, seasoned traders and professional traders, all the tools you could ever dream of. This is a IBKR mobile app that kind of mimics what you've got going on in the IBKR desktop. It's got quite a few functions built into it for a mobile app. Now, a more simplified mobile app is going to be IBKR Global Trader. This is going to be a more simplified platform for beginner and intermediate traders. Again, access to trading stocks and ETFs as low as $1, it says here, and you can trade in fractions. And then finally, what we're going to be talking about today is the client portal. The client portal is beginner friendly. It's a web optimized experience. So you can just log in right to the web app. You don't have to download anything. And it's the one that I prefer to use. So that's the platform we're going to be walking through today and exactly how to use it. And again, if you're just getting started with Interactive Brokers, I recommend using this client portal. You're just going to get your bearings, and then maybe you can pair it with the Global Trader app so you can check your portfolio on the go. Now, again, there's all these apps. It's just a single login that works across all of them, so there's no need to stress about which one you need to pick permanently. Just start with the simple ones, and then you can graduate to the more complicated, the more advanced ones later. All right, so first things first, let's talk about opening an Interactive Brokers account. This is a free process, and I'll get out of the way here so you can kind of see the full screen, but you'll just hit open an account. Now, this is going to be a simple sign-up process similar to opening a bank account or a brokerage account anywhere else. You're going to have to submit some identifying information. You are going to have to give your social security number for verification purposes, and then you might have to upload like a photo ID or a passport document just to verify your identity. So again, on this screen here, you could just go ahead and put your email address, choose a username and password, and your country of residence, and go ahead and create an account. One quick thing I want to make sure of here, make sure you select individuals. Most people watching this video are not institutions, so hopefully this is not selected, but make sure you're selecting an individual account when you create and set up your account. Now, once you submit your application, you just need to get approved, and Interactive Brokers is typically faster than other brokers at this. Most people get approved within hours, sometimes the same day or the next day at the latest. And once you're approved, you're going to get your login credentials and you're in. Now, when you first log into the platform, it can feel a bit overwhelming. There's a lot of options here, but don't worry, we're going to walk through everything and every important piece on this platform right now. All right, so I'm going to get out of the way here so you can get the full screen experience. But first things first, once you get logged in, you can go up in the upper right-hand corner and select this person, and you can change the view. You can go between light and dark mode. Again, personal preference, but that's worth knowing. I know a lot of people have a personal preference for dark mode, so we're just going to switch it to dark mode here. Now, before we go in and place an actual live trade, I just want to give you an overview of the platform itself. So when you first log in, you've got the dashboard. Now, the dashboard gives you all kinds of information. It gives you information about your account, your actual balances, the amount of cash versus invested amounts. And it gives you your portfolio positions here, and it gives you sort of an overall performance of what's been going on in your account. So I can click on this performance tab. Again, this is a demo account here, but you can see that you can quickly see the performance, and you can zoom out 7 days, month to date, year to date, 1 year, all time. So once you start investing inside the platform, this is going to be a great place to live where you can see kind of everything you need to see. You've got these top tabs here. So we're looking at your dashboard, and you've got a few different widgets you can take a look at, but you can hop right over here to actually look at your investment positions. So you can see right here, I've got Micron stock, and it's got the last price, the percentage of change over time, of daily profit and loss of my position. So you can quickly get that right here. And then you've got my cash holdings as well. And then you can also jump over to the performance tab. Again, you're going to get a summary of the performance tab right here on the dashboard itself, but you can get a more detailed view right inside of here. And again, I'll get out of the way, but what's cool is you can full screen this. So I could just tap this button and it'll give me the full screen view of my portfolio through the portfolio analyst section. So this is going to give me a breakdown of my holdings, the balance between the different asset classes. It's going to talk about my movers in the portfolio, and it's going to talk about my investment themes. Again, this makes a lot more sense when you have a ton of holdings in here and you just want to look at your overall portfolio. So it's a nice, super simple way to look at that. But if we go back over here to this performance tab, one thing I wanted to point out that not a lot of people look at is you can compare it against a benchmark. What I love about setting this benchmark is if you start investing, you want to compare yourself against the market, not anybody else, but the actual market itself. So looking at an index like the S&P 500 or looking at it compared to directly a fund like VT, you can see how you're doing compared to that benchmark. And your goal, of course, is to try to beat the market and not worry about what anybody else is doing. So again, you can also look at your balances over time and you get full breakdowns of what's going on in the account. And then you can even look at news pertaining to your portfolio of what you invest in. But that's the overall dashboard. Now, another cool thing is this dashboard is actually customizable. So I'll get out of the way here. You're going to see this add edit widgets button. And what this allows you to do is turn on and off different widgets that you see on this dashboard. So I can go to transactions. Maybe I want to see what's going on in my transactions. And I would rather have my trades and my portfolio positions up top versus the market update. So I'm going to pull those up here. And then maybe I want to turn off news and research, but I want to move my watch list up so I can see what's going on, right? You can just quickly reorder this stuff, and now you can see looks very different. You can fully customize the dashboard. The cool thing is you can also go over here and have little shortcuts to different things. So right now I've got shortcuts to orders and trade, deposits, withdrawals from my account, but you can go in here and just add pretty much anything. So you've got events, news, transactions, message center. You can add those. And maybe you don't need quick access to portfolio analyst or the support team or your statements. And maybe you do want to keep support. So then you do that. No problem. Boom. Now you've got your shortcuts. So if I hit orders and trade, it'll bring me right to the order and trade section. I can hit deposits. It'll take me right to deposit cash into my account. So nice, quick customizations that you can make so you can have it look how you want it. Again, this is the ability to tailor it how you want it to look so that it's simplified for the way that you trade, for the way that you invest. But again, as a beginner, I always recommend just use the defaults and then customize as you go, as you get comfortable with the platform itself. All right, now that you have a general layout of what's going on in the dashboard, let's talk about actually using the account. So the first things first, you got to put money into the account so you can actually invest and place a trade. So you're going to go to this transfer and pay tab at the top. Of course, we've got the deposit shortcut right here as well. Again, you can go to transfer and pay and just go to the transfer funds section here. And then you can choose to deposit funds into your account. So if you select deposit funds, what you're going to want to do is actually connect a bank account. Now, I've got one connected here, but let's say you're adding your first bank account. So you can choose use new deposit method. And then you would go in, you would denominate what is your currency, what's your local currency that you're actually going to be depositing into this account. So there are several ways you can deposit funds. So you can link to a bank account itself. So you can just hit link to bank account and it'll connect to your bank account and you can transfer funds. You can do direct ACH transfer from your bank. That's pretty common, just transferring funds over. Or you can even do a bank wire, or you can even, again, if it's crypto, you can fund with a stable coin. And there's a ton of other features here. You could mail a check in if you want to, you could scan a check in. But most people start by either linking a bank account or just doing direct ACH transfer. So if I link a bank account and I click the button here, it's going to ask for my banking information, or I can log in at the bank directly. Now, this is like other finance apps where they connect with a third party. It's secure, safe, they don't store your information, but basically you can just log into your bank account and then you can transfer funds over. If you're not comfortable with that, you could just enter your routing number and your bank account number, and then you're going to have to verify that account. So this is what I did. I recommend just choosing an account type, right? So this was a checking account. You put in your routing number, put in your bank account number, and hit connect to bank. What's going to happen is they're going to do 2 test deposits. So you might have done this before with another finance app, but they put small amounts, pennies, into your bank account, then withdraw them. And you have to come back once that's been done and verify your account. Once your account is verified, then you can make transfers. So that's, again, connecting your bank account. So again, you go to transfer and pay, and you hit transfer funds, and you're going to hit deposit. You're going to choose the account, and now you're going to just choose the amount. So again, you can choose ACH, choose your amount, hit next, and then you just confirm the transfer. Once the funds have actually deposited into your account, now you can use them. You can actually place a trade. You could start investing on the platform. Now, here's a pro hack that a lot of people don't utilize. You'll see this checkbox pop up when you're looking to transfer funds in. If you check this box, you can make it a recurring transaction. What that does is it'll automatically transfer money from your bank account into the platform on a set schedule. So you can go through and just name this. So it could be monthly investment, and you can choose frequency, monthly, quarterly, or annually. And you can start it on whatever date. So maybe I can just say, okay, at the end of the month, I want to do a transfer over here. Then I can make sure that every last day of the month, $20 is going to transfer over, or it could be, $500, whatever amount that you're going to be investing per month is, you could just set this up. And once this automatic deposit goes in, you can pair that on the other side with an automatic trade. So then you can automatically make a purchase of an investment, and now you've automated your investing right here on the platform itself, which is basically building a wealth building machine that runs in the background without you having to think about it every month. So I will show you how to set up recurring investments in just a couple of minutes here. All right, let's talk about how to buy your first stock or ETF on Interactive Brokers. Now, let me get out of the way so you get the full screen view. Now, one thing you're going to notice here is sometimes you get a pop-up that says you're logged in, but you don't have the trading market data permissions. You're not connected. So you just need to hit this log in button one more time, and that'll get you connected. Then you can go up here to this search bar, and you're going to look for the stock or ETF you're looking for. So let's just look for Tesla, for example. So if I type in TSLA, that's the stock's ticker symbol, you're going to see a few different options. Again, this is why it can sometimes feel overwhelming, but if you're searching for Tesla, you're usually going for the top option, which is going to be on the US-based exchange. Again, if you're seeing this in another country, you're going to use the exchange that makes sense for you. But right now, I know that Tesla is listed on the NASDAQ, so I'm just going to click on that option. Now, once you click on it, you're going to have options potentially. If you have those enabled, there's other instruments. Just make sure you select the stock. That's what we're looking for Tesla stock. So once you get to this stock page, I'm going to get out of the way here. Just click through and take a second to look around, because what you're seeing is genuinely impressive. Now, you have a price chart with customizable timeframes. You have AI-powered news summaries. You have upcoming events. And in addition, if you go to this fundamentals tab here, you've got even more information. You have analyst ratings from multiple sources here. And you've got a dividend payout schedule, which of course Tesla is not really paying out a dividend. They're a growth company, but they've also got key ratios, investing themes, and they even have a full financial breakdown so you can take a look at the financials of the company itself. And what's crazy is honestly, all of this is typically $50 to $100 a month on other platforms, and they give you all of this for free with your account, which is incredible. Now, before we actually place a trade here, I want to pause just for a second, because honestly, the platform tells you a lot about the stock, but this is not going to do the actual analysis for you. It doesn't tell you whether a stock is fundamentally sound, whether it's priced fairly, or whether it even belongs in your portfolio. So honestly, that's where having a dedicated stock research tool makes a real difference. So this is something we've built over here at WallStreetZen specifically to solve, whether or not should I buy this stock. So we use what's called the Zen ratings model. And what it does is it analyzes over 4,600 stocks across 115 different factors, things like earnings growth, consistency, financial strength, value, momentum, and analyst sentiment. Every stock gets an overall A through F rating, just like school, and the top rated stocks have historically outperformed the market significantly. So you can access Zen ratings for free. Just go to WallStreetZen.com WallStreetZen.com, look up any ticker symbol you're considering on Interactive Brokers. So if I just open up WallStreetZen.com here and I type in Tesla, because we were just looking at that, I can see if it's a buy or a hold or a sell. And you can see very, very quickly it's a C grade, and we recommend holding. So very, very easy to do right here on WallStreetZen.com. Now, before we continue, I wanted to thank you for making it this far by sharing a resource that I think you'd like. Now, every Monday, Wall Street Zen shares a stock of the week with investors. This is a top-ranking stock in the Zen rating system with near-term catalysts, handpicked by editor-in-chief Steve Reitmeister, who has over 40 years of investing experience. Get the stock of the week picks for free by clicking the link in the description below or just scanning the QR code on screen right now. So make sure, even though you have a ton of data here, that you use something like Wall Street Zen ratings before you go and actually place the trade. You can kind of just think of Wall Street Zen as your research layer and Interactive Brokers as your execution layer. So, okay, let's get back to buying. So what you're going to do here is you're just going to click the buy button. Let's say we want to buy some Tesla stock. So you're going to hit the buy button on the stock page. And again, I'll get out of the way. It's going to bring up the order ticket. Now, what you can do is you can buy in shares or in dollars. Now, the dollar amount is a better option in my opinion because it allows you to buy in regular dollar amounts. You can buy fractional shares of this stock. So if this stock trades at $400, which Tesla pretty much does, but you only want to buy $50 of it, you can go ahead and do that. So you can say, I want $50 of Tesla stock, not 50 shares, right? And so now you can actually purchase that, and you can see it's 0.01277 shares. So this is called fractional share investing, and it just makes it so much simpler. Now, you can also go in here and select your order type. Now, again, if you're going to go down to market order, if you choose market order, it basically means you're going to buy the stock immediately at whatever the current price is. Now, if you want to jump over to limit order, you can set the price at which you're willing to pay for this stock. Now, I'll just be perfectly honest here. When you're just getting started on this platform, while you might slightly pay a little bit more per share, market orders execute right away and they're a lot simpler. Once you're a little more used to the platform, you can set limit orders or stop limit orders or trailing orders or any of these other order types. But I would just stick with either a market order or, again, if you're confident that you know you want to buy it at a certain price, you can set that limit order. What the limit order does is, let's say you only want to buy it if it drops to $389 per share. Well, it's not going to execute this trade until Tesla drops. If it doesn't drop, you don't get the stock. That's why I'm a fan of market orders when you're first getting started. And again, when you're placing the trade, again, we'll just do a market order here. For now, I'll just leave the time in force today. Now, once you've figured out your order, I always recommend hitting the preview button so you can kind of see what you're paying in commissions and fees, the amount that you're actually purchasing, and the order type, and compared to your actual balances of what you have available to spend. So it just gives you a nice, simple overview before you actually hit the buy button. Once you are ready, though, just hit submit buy order, and now you have purchased the stock. Now, it's important to note, if you place this trade when the market is not open, it's going to pop up and say, hey, this trade's going to place when the market opens tomorrow, or maybe if it's a Friday or a weekend, when it opens Monday morning. It'll just get put in the queue as an order that's ready to go. Now, one more quick thing on placing orders here. If you're buying a stock denominated in a different currency, Interactive Brokers is actually going to handle that conversion automatically. Now, the fee is a flat $2, and the exchange rate is actually very competitive. So for anything beyond a small trade, it's essentially nothing. All right, now that you know how to place a trade, super duper simple, let's talk about setting up that recurring investment that we talked about earlier. This is one of the most powerful features on the platform and one that's really the least talked about. So let's go ahead and do this. I'll hop out of the way here. So to get this set up, you're going to actually go over to the trade tab here, and you're going to go down to recurring investments. You can see this is kind of a newer feature, but now you can create a recurring investment on a schedule like we talked about. Maybe it's monthly, maybe it's annually, but you can go ahead and just hit the button here and hit create recurring investment. Now you're going to select your start date. Again, you can hit the little calendar button here, and maybe you just want to do it every day at the end of the month. And then you're going to select the amount. So we're going to just say $500, and you're going to choose any interval. Now, it's not just monthly or annually. You got daily, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, quarterly, semi-annually, and annually. So if you want to make daily purchases, awesome. If you want to do bi-weekly, maybe you get paid every other week, you can go ahead and do that, or you can do monthly, quarterly, any of those. Now, you can also choose to end it after a specific number of transactions or on a specific date, or you could just check this box. Hey, I want to invest indefinitely. Now, you want to make sure you actually select an investment. So let's just say something like Vanguard's S&P 500 index fund. That's VII. And so when I select that, it's going to tell me the stock. Yep, we're going to do VOO, and we're going to do $500 a month with no end date. Once I hit continue, all I have to do is verify the transaction and hit save investment. Now, a quick key note here, and I'll zoom in so you can actually read this. It says you must have sufficient available cash in your account on the scheduled purchase date to pay for the investment. Otherwise, the recurring investment will not be executed. So that's why when we talked about earlier, setting up a recurring deposit into your account to make sure the money's there. So I'd recommend that recurring deposit shows up at least a week before you're placing the trade itself. But here's the magic is once you get this recurring investment set up, you now have automatic money going into the market on a regular schedule with no emotion. You're not going, oh no, the market dropped 3% on a Tuesday, I shouldn't put money in. No, you're doing what's called dollar cost averaging. You're putting money into the market on a regular basis in a long-term investment. Again, this is a great way to save for longer term goals like retirement. So again, if I save this investment here and I hit done and I go back to this trade tab, you'll see my active investments with no end date, and it's going to put $500 a month starting on March 31st, and then it's going to go indefinitely on a monthly basis. So now that you know how to buy a stock and even set up recurring investments, let's talk about how you sell a stock. So what you're going to do first on the dashboard here, you're going to go to the positions tab, and then you're going to find the stock you want to sell. Right now, I've got a single stock here. I got Micron Technology. So for whatever reason, if you want to sell this stock, you just hit the sell tab. Again, it's going to bring that order ticket up here. So let's just go in and I can hit sell. Or probably even a quicker option, just hit close position. So it's going to automatically say, here's the exact amount of shares. You can set it to a limit order or a market order, doesn't matter. Market, again, is going to be more immediate. And then you just hit preview. So you can see, okay, I'm going to pay about 5 cents for this trade. So my total balance is now going to be 487 out of this trade. I'm going to hit submit sell order. And then, of course, the market's currently closed right now, but once that order settles out, I will have it executed right when the market opens tomorrow. So it's as simple as buying. It's the same thing. Now, once that trade actually executes in the morning, the funds will settle in minutes and are available to reinvest or withdraw from your account right away. Now, let's talk about some critical settings that you're going to want to configure in Interactive Brokers. Again, I'll get out of the way so you can see everything. So if you go up to the person icon here and you go to the settings tab, you're going to want to make sure that your account type is set to cash, not margin. And let me show you what this looks like. So I set up this demo account so you can see it here, but right now the account type is set to margin. Margin means you're borrowing money to invest, and unless you really know what you're doing, that's how you get into serious trouble. So I would recommend just keeping that as a cash account. So if for some reason you sign up and you have margin selected, I would go in and downgrade to cash. All right, next you're going to scroll down a little bit further and you're going to go to IBKR pricing plan. Now in this setting, you have fixed or tiered pricing. I recommend tiered because it typically results in lower commissions over time. So just select tiered here and then go down and hit continue. All right, now you're going to want to scroll down a little bit further under trading and you're going to want to go to trading permissions. Trading permissions allows you to turn on and off different types of trading. What I would recommend doing is actually going into the stocks section here specifically, maybe even the bonds or the mutual funds section, but go into stocks, hit edit, and this is where you're actually going to select the countries and locations that you want to trade stocks in. So maybe this is like US, Europe, Asia, wherever you plan to invest. So maybe you want to do all of Europe and maybe you want to do all of North America, including Canada and Mexico. And again, any location you plan on trading in. Highly recommend if you're doing global trading, make sure you check this global trade in fractions box so you can get fractional share access on global stocks. And once you continue, you might assign some new disclosures here for trading in different countries. So just go ahead and sign and hit continue to complete. All right, and another option you're going to want to change here potentially under trading is dividend election. So if you buy a stock that pays out dividends, you can choose how you receive them. Now, if you go in here, you can change the actual election itself. So right now it's defaulted to receive cash, meaning you'll get access to that as cash in your brokerage account. And you can either reinvest that or you can take that money out. But if you're doing longer term investing, say you're investing in like an ETF and you're like, I'm doing that recurring investment, I want it to continue growing. Reinvest means as soon as that dividend is paid out, it just buys more of that stock or more of that ETF automatically. Now, if it is in a regular brokerage account, there are some tax implications to this. Dividends do count as ordinary income. But again, if you're investing in something like an ETF, those dividends are typically a little bit lower, but just something to be aware of. But typically, if you're looking to generate income, you would want receive cash turned on. But if you're looking for long-term growth opportunities, you just want to buy more and more of that ETF or that stock, I would turn reinvest on. Now, you can also do it on the position level itself. So for Micron, I can either have it follow the account level setting, or I can have it do it individually. So if I have multiple holdings here, you can maybe have your ETFs reinvest, but all your individual dividend stocks pay out just cash. So you can choose whatever option. There's no wrong answer here. But again, you would just hit continue. You would read through the disclosure about dividend reinvesting. You would sign, and you would hit continue to complete the process. All right, and then finally, you probably did this when you set up, but if you are finding that your base currency is not set correctly or it defaulted to USD and you wanted to do something else, you can go in and set your base currency. Again, this is the currency that you want to denominate everything in. This is typically your country of residence. Whatever that base currency is, you can go and set that. Again, there's a ton of currencies supported here. For me, it would just be USD, so I'm just going to keep it at that. But if it was something else, I could change that. And again, the goal is to just keep your portfolio view clean and prevent any confusing currency fluctuation overlays. All right, now let's talk about some reports and documentation. We're going to talk about taxes because this is important. So if you go to performance and reports here, go down to tax documents. Now, Interactive Brokers is going to generate a comprehensive tax report after each tax year. Again, if you're just getting started, there might not be anything available, but after the year, you can look at your capital gains, your dividends, interest, all of it in one document ready to hand to your accountant or file yourself. What's nice is it's really straightforward, and they've been doing it for decades. You can even set up email delivery so you get an automatic reminder when it's available each year. Now, support is actually pretty good on this platform. They've got the AI response iBot feature here. It's like an AI assistant. And of course, you can go through and get help, but you can actually execute some things kind of like an AI agent. So I can say close all account positions, and I can submit and confirm, and it can go ahead and do that for me. Kind of cool, but also pretty powerful. So just be careful how you use that. But if you just want to ask the bot, like, where's my deposit? You can go ahead and say that, and it'll pop up and give you the FAQs. All right, if you want live human help, there is a little bit of a process to make this work. I don't typically have luck using the iBot tool if I need something very specific to my account. So you'll actually go to the Interactive Brokers website, and I'll get out of the way here. You're going to go to the support section and go to support for individuals. Once you go to support for individuals, you're going to scroll down here to the chat room feature. Now, it's important that you say, I have an urgent inquiry about my account, because if you click this other button here, it's just going to take you to their help section. So say I have an urgent inquiry, it's going to have you log in. And again, I have two-factor authentication set up, so it's going to send me a code, and then I'm going to punch my code in here. I punch the code in, it'll actually bring me to the live chat feature inside the app itself. Now, this allows you to select kind of what sort of help you need, and then you'll actually get connected to a representative. It does say that their live chat is available from, let's see, Sunday 1900 to Friday 20 Eastern time. So that's going to be 7 p.m. to Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So again, I've opened it up and I'm going to say, I need some funds and banking assistance. I can't find my deposit. It's not working. No deposit, like it didn't show up. So why have I not received my cash deposit? And I was trying to put $20 in there and it didn't show up. And so I'm going to go here and say I was trying to use ACH transfer, and we were doing that today. And so I'm going to enter the chat. And again, it's going to say, was this helpful? Again, they're trying to, conserve their resources, but you're going to say, no, I need more help. And it's going to actually start the chat. So it's going to find an available representative. I found them to be genuinely helpful and pretty quick to respond. It might take a couple of minutes to get connected. I actually did have a funding issue where I was trying to do a banking request instead of an ACH transfer. Couldn't get that to show up. We chatted. He said, go try an ACH transfer. It should be pretty immediate. And I was able to get that taken care of. So if you do need human support, a couple of extra clicks, but again, they're very, very helpful and they are pretty well available as well. All right, and that's how Interactive Brokers works. Now, where do you go from here? Here's the workflow I would suggest if you're just getting started with Interactive Brokers. In your first week, so sign up, get comfortable with the interface, and just make your first purchase. Don't do anything crazy. In your second week, consider setting up a recurring investment. And then starting in month 2, maybe dig into research tools, explore the portfolio analytics, and customize your dashboard. Take it one step at a time. The platform is very powerful, but powerful doesn't have to mean complicated if you just follow these simple instructions here. So now you know where everything lives, how it all connects, and how to use it without second guessing yourself every single step. So I hope this walkthrough was helpful in making interactive brokers less scary. But if you want to actually find winning stocks using interactive brokers, check out this video right here where we break down the top 10 long-term stocks to buy and hold right now.